Back and forth.
Within
back
seconds.
And forth. And this has lasted all day. One day. Second.
And yeah, when Leonard got home.
What happened?
Well, we went to church one Wednesday evening, and that's really when the vision started going in and out, and Cheryl wasn't able to read the pages on her Bible, so we immediately went to the Naval Hospital there in Portsmouth, Virginia. That wasn't enough for us, so, you know, we began our own research and started going to other hospitals, paying out of pocket in Norfolk, Virginia, till we found an answer.
And that answer came back. Your wife has MS, but before you got that answer, this is the first, I need you to explain. There got some mothers out here in this audience. I'm talking about mom wakes up, I got a 2-year-old and a 3.5-year-old, I can't see them.
Right.
I'm trying to help, I can't. One goes running around the court, I can't. You're at home alone. He's at work. What was going through your mind? Did you think you were dying? Did you think, what did you think, Mom?
I did. I said, something's wrong. I was devastated, I was scared. Took MRIs, blood work, you name it, and I was devastated. My family was in Florida. All my family was in Florida. We had no support there, and I was kind of devastated until 2 weeks later, you have MS. And he was so sad. He held his head down, telling me, you have MS. And I said, well, what's that?
Of course.
I was 25 years old at the time. After he said, you have multiple sclerosis, we're going to put you on a rapid, kind of rapid you with salumedrol. We're going to rapid you 3 times a day.
And what did that mean?
Trying to jumpstart my vision, I think, because, you know, with optic neuritis, normally your vision does come back. But I didn't realize what multiple sclerosis was at the time of my diagnosis, and I didn't realize what was going on. I think I was in a fog.
Gotcha.
So I was doing what, you know, they told me to do as my babies laid there on the floor.
And Dad, this ended up being the reason why you ended up having to take early retirement from the military.
17 years active duty. The one thing that I've always wanted to do my entire life, like anybody else, I trained, went to school, got a great education, and said I wanted to be a sailor. And multiple sclerosis shows up in our lives, and my life, sort of like Langston Hughes would say in his poem, Mother to Son, life for me ain't been a crystal stair. That's really what happened. The stair that we were building changed overnight, almost like in the twinkling of an eye.
But instead of giving up,
oh, we got stronger.
Without a doubt, as a family. I got to take a break. Before I go to break, please welcome Cheryl and Len's sons, Len Jr. and Jared, to the show. Welcome them both. I'm going to talk to you guys because age 2 and 3, I defy you to tell me you remember when Mom was diagnosed. But you know what it was like at 7, 8, and 9, coming home and having to do homework, and Mom can't read with you, right?
Yes, right. Yes, sir.
You know what it was like coming home. Mom's not feeling good that day.
Yes, sir.
And who had to have her back?
Both of us.
There you go. Let me take a break. We'll be back right after this.
My right leg just shut down from here on down to my toes. My mom goes, I need something. I go, I don't think I can get it right now. And she's like, why? I go, I don't think I can walk.
Hi, Montel. This is Jeff from the MS Music Fest. Our concerts have helped raise over $6,000 for the Montel MS Foundation. To help fight MS, my family and I are putting together concerts to raise money using music and bands from around the world. I spend countless hours on the phone, on the internet to bring this together. I think with enough research we can find a cure for MS. Keep up the good work, Montel.
Thank you. Len, talk to me about this, man. I mean, you know, when do you remember now for the first time realizing that my mom's a little different?
When I wanted to go outside and play and, you know, wanted to go to the store to get some candy, she wasn't able to drive us around.
And how old were you then when you started to realize, oh, something's off with Mom then? About how old?
I can remember like it was yesterday at the age of 4.
Age of 4?
Yes, sir.
And then both of you just, see, I'm trying to figure out how, there are some families in this country that do what your family did. And obviously it's because your mom and dad helped to teach you, no question. But even some families that are taught what you're taught don't pull together like the 4 of you guys have to help your mother. So what was it? What do you think it was, Jared? What was it?
I think it was just love and trying to help my mom and get through this situation that we was in because she couldn't see, so we had to be there for her.
You saw our guests that were here earlier, and that's a family that's pulled together, there's no question. But right now, watching the screen, there's some young person, 13, 14, 15 years old, sitting at home watching this television, and they're saying, I wish my mom didn't have MS. So, you know, so embarrasses me. She walks, she trips all the time. Yeah. What do you say?
I say, you know, I would say it's not the end of the world. You know, even though she has MS, I still believe that she's just another human being. Life, you know, life can go on.
And there really has not been anything you have not been able to do, is there, Ma?
Not really.
Get a little tired from time to time.
The fatigue
problem, that's
yes.
an issue that a lot of us with MS have.
Yes.
But what's so crazy, see, what's ludicrous about this, and Dr. Kaplan, maybe you can address this, everybody suffers differently.
Yeah, everybody does suffer differently, Montel. And I think your analogy is a great one where those wires, they rust after they've been stripped away. But also those wires sometimes cross, and they send signals that they shouldn't be sending in various places. So, for instance, pain is often a symptom
Absolutely.
that people get, numbness, tingling. It's often a big part, but it just depends on how that wiring works for the particular individual as to what's going to happen. But again, what I think this family, these are not just MS survivors, these are MS flourishers. These guys are doing great.
That's what it's all about, flourishing with the same. You know, there are a lot of encouraging developments that are on the horizon out there right now when it comes to curing this disease. Please welcome the author of Curing MS and professor of neurology at Harvard Medical Center, Dr. Howard Weiner, to the show. Thank you so much for being here. You know, we can take a second before I have to take a break. Why don't you talk a little bit about some of the exciting research that's coming down the pike? Because I know Harvard is the university that developed what is now the blood test, which may become a standard for a lot of hospitals to determine whether or not people have MS, correct? Another one of those tools that doctors can use?
Well, I think that I've been working on MS, I'm not that old, but I've been working on MS for over 30 years.
Well, that's because you graduated from high school.
And the thing that I would say is we've made enormous progress. There's no question about that. And we're getting ready for the second assault. You know, we now have the MRI, we now have drugs, things that can help people, and we're ready for that second level. And at our partners MS Center at the Brigham and Women's Hospital, one of the things we're doing is trying to develop blood tests that we can actually tell someone how they're doing with their MS, who might get MS, and this is kind of looking into the future. Now, one of the questions that everybody asks me is, what